are trained to kill corruption, not to maim, not to diminish.
Nigeria beams searchlight on maritime sector as the world marks 2019 UN International Anti-Corruption Day. A federal high court declines variation of Britain's bail in P&ID fraud.
Actions were undertaken to ensure full appreciation of the implications of the policy.
Transparency and accountability. Federal government inaugurates internet-based financial transparency policy and open treasury portal. Plus, education and security top discussions at Northern Traditional Rulers Summit. Hello and welcome to NTA Network News. We are broadcasting live in Abuja. I am Kenen Ima Abodike. Reading with me tonight in Lagos is Jennifer Igwe, while Sadia Umarudigi is in Sabudo. Thanks for joining us. To give more impetus to the federal government anti-corruption drive and sanitize the public service in Nigeria, the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation has inaugurated an internet-based financial transparency policy and open treasury portal. Chimaobi Walter Naji now reports.
With Federal Executive Council approval in 2018, the Financial Transparency Policy and Open Treasury Portal, which is expected to be updated daily with federal government cash transactions, is aimed at demonstrating transparency, accountability and build public trust on government.
In addition to the responsibility for publication outlined above, all MDAs are required to promptly respond to additional requests for information beyond what is published.
Actions were undertaken to ensure full appreciation of the implications of the policy. In addition, following the approval of the policy by the Federal Executive Council, the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning has undertaken significant preparations to ensure readiness for its implementation.
The website, which is already up and running, will no doubt facilitate the fight against corruption by enabling timely availability of financial information, working with Government Integrated Financial Management Information System, GIFMIS.
Let me at this point reassure Mr. President that the Treasury is well positioned to implement fully all government policies, including the newly launched Financial Transparency Policy.
In view of the fact that the present government of Muhammadu Buhari is not only preaching the gospel of fighting corruption, but is also walking the talk in instituting a corrupt-free society that is capable of delivering the dividends of democracy.
The initiative will, among other things, encourage the federal government's whistleblower policy and discourage financial misappropriations. In Abuja, I'm Chimubi Walter Naji, NTA News.
In the meantime, the All Progressives Congress has commended President Muhammadu Buhari on the launch of the Open Treasury Portal, describing it as another groundbreaking initiative that will tackle public sector corruption and plug leakages in the public treasury. The party, in a statement by its National Publicity Secretary Lanre Issa Onelo, says the action is a giant step in the pursuit of open governance, transparency and anti-corruption fight in line with the electoral promises. It notes that the portal will complement full implementation of the Treasury Single Account, which has increased the level of accountability and transparency in the financial resources of the government, stoppage of budget padding, and pruning out thousands of ghost workers through stricter implementation of Integrated Personnel Payroll System, IPPIS. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the appointment of a new board for the Federal Inland Revenue Service, first with a renowned tax consultant, Mohammed Nami, as chairman, subject to Senate's confirmation. The board is composed of a member representing each of the 6 geopolitical zones and statutory representatives from selected number of ministries and government agencies. A statement by Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, indicates the Chairman of Affairs, Babantade Fola, whose term of office expired on Monday, 9th December 2019, is expected to hand over to the most senior director on the board, who will take charge pending the Senate's confirmation of the new board. President Muhammadu Buhari will depart Abuja Tuesday for Aswan, Egypt, to attend the Aswan Forum designed to set an agenda for sustainable peace and development in Africa. The initiative is being launched by the Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi in his capacity as the chairman of the African Union (AU) and as an advocate of post-conflict reconstruction and development in Africa. The gathering is expected to bring together heads of state and government, leaders from regional and international organizations, financial institutions, private sector and civil societies, as well as scholars. The president will be accompanied by Governors Ahmadu Fintiri of Adamawa, Godwin Obaseki of Edo, and May Malabuni of Yobe State. Others are Minister of Defense, General Bashir Magashi, retired, Minister of State Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Zubairu Dada, National Security Advisor, Major General Babagana Monguno, retired, and the Director General, National Intelligence Agency, Ambassador Ahmed Rufai Abubakar. Nigeria marked the 2019 United Nations International Anti-Corruption Day, focusing on corruption in the maritime sector. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, and agencies in the maritime sector at the National Summit in Abuja advocated a collective approach to the fight against corruption in the country. Oyinaya Kaluoka reports.
Nigerian ports are said to have raised the cost of trade with the country, consequently leading to loss of about 1 trillion naira every year, despite federal government's effort in sanitizing the industry. Key players say the maritime sector has remained vulnerable to some unwholesome practices. Now the EFCC is beaming searchlight on the sector.
We are trained to kill corruption, not to maim, not to diminish. We have a zero tolerance to corruption.
President Muhammadu Buhari's message, delivered by Minister of Police Affairs Muhammadu Megari, reiterated government's zero tolerance to corruption.
We cannot, as a country, move forward if corruption is not fought to a standstill.
President Muhammadu Buhari has provided the needed political leadership, with the war on corruption being one of his topmost priorities.
International organizations and key players acknowledge the successes in the anti-corruption fight.
There is light at the end of the tunnel. When I read the accomplishment of the fight against corruption in Nigeria,
it goes towards the whole sanitation of society. It goes beyond corruption, mere material corruption.
There was a roadwork.
Corruption manifests in many forms. It includes the fact that you pay for services and you don't get those services.
Technology is one of the things we have to leverage if we want to eliminate corruption. And we're doing that already.
The summit is expected to come up with a roadmap on tackling corrupt practices in the maritime industry. Oyinaya Kaluoka, NTN News.
Rallies were held in Abuja and across the states to mark the 2019 International Day Against Corruption with the theme United Against Corruption. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports.
United Nations statistics shows that $1 trillion is paid to bribes, while $2.6 trillion is lost to corruption annually. These figures are said to affect global domestic products by 5%. Developing countries are said to lose 10 times the amount of official development assistance funds to corruption. This is why the Action Aid is collaborating with other agencies in campaigning on zero tolerance to corruption and other sharp practices.
That fighting corruption begins with each and every one. You must reject corruption, you must not accept it, you must challenge it wherever you are. That is the only way for us to make progress.
The government has a commitment to fight corruption, and so let's take it from there. So we are holding them responsible that those who are looting sanctions and justice should not be delayed. Let them go to jail.
If you don't like a thing, you in your house, you send it away. And so, as Nigerians, we are taking this work to say we are sending away and sending out corruption from Nigeria.
From Uyo, Wisdom Jacob reports that the Action Aid anti-corruption rally harped on preventive measures and speedy trial of corrupt officials. Similar messages were advocated in Lokoja, Kogi State, where the rally took them round major streets to sensitize the public on the need to collectively work towards reducing corruption practices in Nigeria. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
We now take you to the judiciary, where the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has declined to vary the bail conditions earlier granted Richard James Nolan, the Briton accused of fraud and money laundering in the $9.6 billion judgment obtained by the Process Industrial Development Company against Nigeria. Justice Okonabang, in his ruling, said the defendant is yet to explore all avenues in meeting the bail terms. Olabode Arewa reports.
Accused persons Richard James Nolan of Process and Industrial Development Company and Adam Quinn, who is still at large, are facing a 32-count charge of money laundering, fraud and non-registration with the Nigerian authorities. Declined the application for variation of Nolan's bail terms, the court in its ruling said Nolan has not provided enough evidence to prove that he is unable to get a surety, who is a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to stand in for him. Justice Okonabang subsequently declined the request. Further hearing continues on the 10th of December. Meanwhile, a prosecution witness, Mero Bashir, has testified against the chairman of the defunct Pension Reform Task Team, Abdulrashid Maina. The witness told the court that Abdulrashid Maina was a signatory to the bank accounts allegedly opened in his son's name. Further hearing continues on the 10th of December. Abdulrashid Maina is facing the 12-count charge of money laundering and fraud. In Abuja, Olabode Arewa, NTA News.
In the last 4.5 years, more than 50 justices of the Court of Appeal have been granted a fiat to return to their former court to complete the criminal trials they started before their elevation. This is in accordance with the provisions of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act. President of the Court of Appeal, Justice Zainab Bulkachua, announced this in Abuja at the opening of a national workshop on the effective implementation of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act. Judiciary correspondent Femi Okewo reports.
In times past, anytime a judge is elevated, the criminal trial he has previously been handling will have to start de novo. This is one of the reasons for the very slow pace of criminal trials in Nigeria in some instances. But Section 396 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act now allows for a fiat to be granted to an elevated judge to return to his former court to finish up the criminal cases. It is this law that Justice Zainab Bulkachua says she has used to conclude various recent criminal cases, some of which Nigeria is now celebrating.
Once all the prosecution witnesses have testified, there would be no need to start the matter de novo again. It would be more in the interest of justice to have the matter completed.
The value and expectation of the public is justice. Fairness and justice with promptitude.
So this workshop brings together judges, prosecution lawyers, and other government prosecuting agencies to help set minimum standards for the implementation of Nigeria's Criminal Justice Act.
This is another opportunity for the stakeholders to come together in strengthening the administration of criminal justice.
Before 2015, we never concluded most high-profile cases. They went to court and never ended.
But now, some governors are being asked to come on account, and their cases have been concluded.
It has taken about 5 years now, but the revolution which was promised to Nigerians when this act was promulgated is now becoming evident in Nigeria's fight against crime. In Abuja, Femi Okeowo, NTA News.
National Human Rights Commission is heralding the 2019 International Human Rights Day with dialogue on issues revolving around human rights abuse in Nigeria, with a view to coming up with strategies towards effective implementation. Omenka Marachuku reports on day 2 of the summit.
Discussions on human rights issues continue with syndicated sections in 5 different fields, each identifying their roles in the defense of human rights abuses. Roles of the media in the promotion and protection of human rights featured prominently on the day 2.
Social responsibility component of it basically arises from the fact that the media has certain obligations or duties towards society, and that's why it also has protection, constitutional protection and protection.
Journalists are regarded as opinion shapers. This conference is going on here now. You can't bring the whole of Nigeria here. You rely on the media to tell the general public on what has transpired here. But if you do not understand what is being said, how do you translate that? How do you interpret? How do you inform the public?
We would like to encourage more media houses to set up human rights desk, and also urge more journalists to go into human rights reportage.
The summit is expected to develop appropriate strategies and provide a platform for appraisal of human rights situations in Nigeria. In Abuja, Obenka Marchuku, NTA News.
You are watching NTA Network News. More reports after the break. Do stay.
I better go. I feel like saying the food don't take time finish.
When they're supposed to buy food, they will not buy. We look here. He still has a 200 naira food. He will still buy.
Get to 200. Make I put your usual bill.
Yes, but you go add 888. Join now.
It's a big level.
Is it not 200 you give that lady?
Now 888 is that.
888 now the new AWOOF. Recharge with star 888 star pin hash to enjoy 5 times AWOOF from MTN to call any network. You fit also enjoy them on top VTU. Just ask your vendor for AWOOF for you.
Conductor, where my other nation?
Office man, you don't forget money self.
Oh, forget. You go even hide 888. Join that shit. Give my check, bro.
Nothing can stop you from achieving your dreams but you. Nothing can stop you from achieving your dreams. Chris is saying, believe in your originality and nothing can stop you.
Chris Air Jewels and Timeless. Available at Transcorp Hilton, Abuja.
Fuel for your hustle by Google.
Refresh your confidence with the liquid filling of a Center Fresh gum. Center Fresh. Trust the freshness.
You can choose to manage everything else, but not your data. Get more out of life with the new Airtel data plans. Dial *141# today. Data is life.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Wake up, nothing can hold us down. Get up, born to wear the crown.
Breakfast your day, every day.
Nestle, good food, good life.
1.5 million naira.
3 million naira.
500,000 naira.
75,000 naira.
10 million naira.
900,000 naira.
My house rent.
My family savings. My children's school fees.
My trading money.
My business capital. My contribution money of 1 whole year.
Over the last decade, Nigerians have lost billions of naira to illegal fund managers. Dreams and businesses have been destroyed. Family savings and livelihoods wiped out. Do not join the growing list of victims, shun unlicensed operators who offer extraordinary returns on investments. Say no to illegal fund managers. Invest and save your hard-earned money with only officially licensed banks and financial institutions. This message is brought to you by the Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC.
The House of Representatives Committee on Governmental Affairs, in collaboration with Bureau of Public Service Reform, presents a 3-day Stakeholders National Conference on Public Service Reforms and the Journey So Far. The theme of the conference is Transiting from Old Public Administration to the New Public Service. Venue, Government House Conference Hall, Kano, Coronation Hall. Date, 10th to 13th December 2019. The overall objective of the conference is to ensure quality service delivery, proper coordination and full implementation of reforms initiatives in the public service. In addition, participants may wish to avail themselves of the reserved hotels accommodation at a discounted rate. For further inquiries and information on the conference, kindly contact Committee Consultant on 0803-973-7932. We wish all our participants safe arrival to the Asian city of Kano. Unique Nexus Limited and Consultants. Announcer.
Ever since he could hold the bat, Charles wanted to play like his big brother. Victor had skills that matched the best in the land. Never mind, little brother. Drink your Dano milk and keep practicing. So that is what he did. And step by step, glass by glass, the boy grew in spirit and strength. Drink your Dano milk and be strong.
Also available in Dano Cool Cow, Dano Slim, and Dano Flavored Milk. Choose Dano. Choose goodness.
Why are you roaming about seeking white-collar jobs that are not there when you can easily be empowered and be an employer of labor? With or without school certificate, you can acquire skills, be an entrepreneur or any vocation of your choice with the National Directorate of Employment.
We all know government cannot do it alone. If you look at our population and the population of unemployed Nigerian youth, the white-collar job is not there. There is nothing government has not done for us to create jobs, provide employment to most of you. Please come to us. We are ready to help.
The National Directorate of Employment, NDE, is at your service. Don't look too far, as what you are looking for in Sokoto is in your Sokoto. Visit us in all the 36 states of the Federation, as well as the FCT. For more information, NDE, Creating Employment, Director General, NDE, Announcer.
Welcome back. The challenge of attaining a stable and sustainable power supply in Nigeria has been topical for quite some time now. This time, the 9th Senate has taken it upon itself to solve the puzzle. Its efforts culminated in convening a round-table discussion involving the Senate, Ministries of Power, Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, and experts in electrical installations. Ignatius Zungwo reports.
On the 19th of November this year, Senate resolved to carry out an investigation into the causes of the impediment in Nigeria's power sector. This roundtable discussion is one of the resolutions of that motion moved by Senator Chukwuka Otazi. Participants here were categorical and clear on some issues that need to be addressed urgently in order to give way for stable power supply in Nigeria.
Tracking implementation of federal government intervention projects, example Mambila Hydro, Zangiro, Kashimbila, Dadinkoa, and others.
To make Nigerian power sector very competitive, these participants believe that is need to ensure liquidity, change of energy consumption pattern from being residential to industry-oriented, and addressing the issue of mismatch in foreign exchange operations.
I believe that this is a sector that needs a declaration of emergency. If we went wrong with our privatization of Gencos and Discos, whatever we have to do to review these things, we should do. We must go really.
One of the lead consultants explained that Nigeria's power sector needs 1.2 trillion naira to generate 4,000 megawatts annually. The outcome of this meeting is expected to be presented at Senate plenary for consideration and transmission to the executive as a legislative recommendation. Ignatius Nkwo, NTN News.
Still on the National Assembly, the number of air crashes involving the Nigerian Air Force in non-combat operations leading to loss of lives and military equipment is a source of worry for stakeholders, says the House of Representatives. It therefore opened an inquiry to find lasting solutions. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
From 2015 to date, at least 8 air crashes were recorded involving helicopters and planes of the Nigerian Air Force. This, the Parliament says, is a cause for worry, considering the loss of lives and expensive military equipment that are essential in security operations. Strengthening the security architecture through air power, says the lawmakers, informed this meeting to share ideas, experiences, and bring forth suggestions on safety measures.
We have resolved to assess the level of financial loss suffered by the country due to these crashes and examine the utility of insurance coverage in reimbursing the government for losses, compensating the wounded, and providing for the families of those who have lost their dear lives.
Is it funds? Is it training? Is it the capacity building? Is it exuberance from the pilot? We are going to find out.
Nigeria's Air Force Chief says substantial progress have been recorded in activities of the Nigerian Air Force, citing capacity building and training of personnel, both within and outside the country.
In terms of spare parts and other maintenance issues, we have made substantial progress from 2015, when the serviceability status of flyable aircraft was only 35%. But today, as of this morning, as I leave the office, the serviceability status is 70, and it has always been between 70 and 82% in the last 4 years.
The investigative hearing was attended by aviation and security experts. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Traditional rulers from northern Nigeria have resolved to commit to improving access to education and collaborate with relevant agencies to strengthen security operations through community policing. Muhammadu Umar Ajingi reports that the leaders in a meeting with the Inspector General of Police are expected to make recommendations to government on solutions to some of the challenges.
Nigeria is confronted with the challenges of insecurity and increasing number of out-of-school children. 14 years old Ali Usman knows what he wants to be in future, but he is not getting the necessary education for the realization of his future dream.
He wants to work with the government.
About 1 out of 10 children in the region are roaming the streets struggling to survive, a situation that sends a danger warning for urgent attention to avert serious security challenges in the future. And this is why the traditional rulers convened to find lasting solutions to the problems.
We want to assure our governors who will support them, and when they have good programs, they involve those who will work very hard to ensure successful completion of those programs.
We are equally working hard to address the problem of out-of-school children.
The current border closure and the challenges of drug abuse. All these issues are critical to the success of our nation as an economic giant and an investment destination.
The meeting gave the Inspector General of Police Muhammad Adamu and the representative of Controller General of Customs a platform to recount achievements arising from strategies of overcoming the challenges leading to the current border closure.
We shall continue to provide the requisite professional leadership that will not only positively alter the narrative of the Nigerian police, but will guarantee safety and security of citizens in the north and other parts of the country.
The traditional rulers were unanimous in their submissions on the need for more effort by all stakeholders in improving access to quality education to uplift the standard of living of the people. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umarajingi, NTA News.
All Progressives Congress governors have pledged continuous support to the agricultural revolution to place Nigeria among the leading food exporter nations rather than being an importer nation. This was stated by the Progressives Governors Forum Chairman Atiku Bagudu at the launch of this year's Agricultural Empowerment Program in Dutse. Mohammed Musa Askira has details.
Distribution of this mechanized agricultural equipment is the sixth in its series under the administration of Governor Muhammadu Badr Abubakar. Jigawa State Government has made a paradigm shift in agricultural practice by turning the sector away from the old manual to the more mechanized practice through training and empowering the farmers on the skills and techniques of modern farming as well as provision of this equipment. Over 140,000 farmers have so far benefited from this gesture, making Jigawa State one of the leading states in rice production among other farm produce.
What you are about to launch today is another chapter of this initiative which trains youth in the use of small-scale mechanized implements to service clusters of farmers across the whole spectrum of cultivation.
Governor Atiku Bagudu of Kebbi State, Jigawa State Deputy Governor and representative of the Central Bank Governor described the initiative as a milestone geared towards complementing the federal government's agenda of securing dual economic lifelines for the country in the journey to achieve full security in Nigeria.
It is not surprising that Jigawa is continuing to witness development by the day.
Stakeholders believe more than the distribution of these farm implements is their effective utilization by the hundreds of the beneficiaries to key into the state government's drive to base the state economy on agriculture.
From the Aminu Kano Square in Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
Meeting between the First Lady of Nigeria, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, and the Governor's Wives Coalition on Reproductive Health has ended in Abuja with a 7-point communique aimed at scaling up the efforts towards the promotion of reproductive, maternal, newborn and adolescent health, as well as nutrition in Nigeria. State House correspondent Aliyu Kabir reports.
The First Lady's advocacy in improving the health and the general well-being of women and children in Nigeria within the 4 years of Future Assured has been receiving support and attention from within and outside the country. The Governor's Wives Advocacy Coalition on Reproductive, Maternal, Newborn, Child and Adolescent Health as well as Nutrition, which was operationally enforced in 2007, is a platform working in coalition with the First Lady's Future Assured program towards improving the health and the general well-being of women and children in Nigeria, particularly at the grassroots. This meeting therefore created an interaction between the First Lady and the Governor's Wives to share experiences through their various pet projects in the state, with a view to chart a new course for a sustainable approach towards improving the health of women and children for the overall development of the country.
Let me one more reaffirm my commitment to champion RMNCAH plus nutrition through advocacy and public awareness interventions. I implore you to also continue doing the same in your various states. To our new sisters, I would like to also encourage you to be committed to this noble cause.
As the Global TB Ambassador, the First Lady also used the occasion to decorate the wife of the Vice President Dolapo Shimbajo and the wives of the governors as TB champions in Nigeria, with a call on them to employ strategy towards ending tuberculosis in the country.
I implore you to use every opportunity to advocate for improvement in the services towards detection and treatment of TB in our country.
Part of the communique comprised the need for the development partners and other donors to liaise with the state governors for a more comprehensive strategy towards addressing maternal and child health in the country.
That the counsels and recommendations of the governor's wives should be among the prioritized actions in programming and reprogramming in order to achieve optimal results.
From the State House, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
And wife of the National Security Advisor Nafisa Mohammed Mongunu is advocating caring for the less privileged by the well-to-do in the society. This was during a fanfare for orphans and widows in Abuja. Najatu Tijani reports.
Lifting one another up when the chips are down is the literal message being played out. Their message of hope is for the orphans and widows at this gathering who are usually neglected by society. Leading by example are prominent members of society who hope to make an impact.
You could be someone who doesn't have much money and you can still help someone, even by telling them kind words, encouraging them to do something.
So that's the importance of days like this and the impact that it gives to society.
Some of the widows who received foodstuff, sewing and grinding machines to encourage self-sufficiency say on a day like this, they can forget their worries knowing that someone cares. This resonates with 20-year-old John, who lost his father at a young age, leaving his widowed mother to fend for the family.
Due to event like this, usually after the event, they usually give food stuff and things to empower our mothers.
The organizers say the less privileged deserve to feel safe, and for children at the fun fair, this means being lifted up by society. Najatu Tijani, NTA News.
We now join Jennifer in Lagos for more reports on Network News. Hello, Jennifer.
Kene, and welcome to Lagos. Now we start with the World Anti-Corruption Walk in Lagos. Now the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, led a team of federal agencies on a sensitization walk against corruption in Lagos. It is part of activities to mark the 2019 World Anti-Corruption Day. Paul Omukago has details.
The walk, tagged Zero Tolerance to Corruption, head EFCC Zonal Office Lagos, Mohammed Rabu, emphasized the need for Nigerians to rise up against corruption. He urged them to support the federal government's effort to sanitize the country by saying no to all forms of corrupt practices.
We are only here to fight corruption. We can't do it alone. Anywhere you are an ambassador, you are a crusader. To make Nigeria great again, we must fight corruption.
Other speakers from the maritime industry, civil societies organization, and Nollywood echoed the power of unity in the fight against corruption.
We look forward to strengthening collaboration across the agencies of government. The agencies are striving very hard. There are certain decisions that we're embarking upon. These decisions as to strengthen and enable us have accountability and transparency in our operations.
No matter how little we have at home, we should start from home.
We need it not only today, not only tomorrow, but it should be a continuous process. This will lead to our economic recovery.
The walk started from the EFCC office at Kogi through Kefi, Balende, Igboshere, Freedom Park, and back to the EFCC office. The International Anti-Corruption Day has a global team united against corruption. In Lagos, Paul Omukago, NTA News.
Now to power. Enforcing local content in the production of prepaid meters will bridge the metering gap presently being experienced across the country. Minister of Power, Maman Saleh, stated this during his visit to Mama's Electricity Meters Manufacturing Company factory located along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Annie Daniels has details.
Taking round the factory's production areas and facilities, the minister expressed delight at what he saw on ground, noting that metering is one of the serious issues bothering the country, particularly electricity consumers. He says electricity markets, liquidity and sustainability are focal areas that demand provision of meters so as to generate funds to pay power generating companies, and that the only way to do this is by metering.
I'm very much impressed to see a Nigerian producing meters to say up to 100 or 1,000 in a day. We have to also allow investors to come in and invest. So, and we have to give consideration also to Nigerian manufacturers. That is why I'm here.
Chairman, Momas Group, Kola Balogun, revealed that the company is yet to optimize available opportunities beyond just job creation, noting that the company has the facilities, competence and capability to improve on the number of hours of operation to adequately address all metering gaps in Nigeria.
We'll finish, we'll test, we'll calibrate. After calibration to all the IEC standard and Nigerian metering code standard, it further goes into NEMSA, where they do outside certification and give us the necessary sticker to tell us that the meter we have designed in Nigeria has complied with Nigerian metering standards. Our standard in Nigeria can compete with global best practices.
Momas Electricity Meters Manufacturing Company Limited was incorporated in 2011 to produce energy meters, vending management application and support services. It is the first indigenous company to deploy, install and manage prepayment metering solutions for the Power Holding Company of Nigeria in Lagos. Annie Daniels, NTA News.
Now to the UBA essay competition. Otokini Jolo Show at Louisville Girls High School, Ogun State, has emerged the winner of the 2019 UBA Foundation National Essay Competition. Thomas Ogbetire reports that the 14-year-old Otokini Jola Osho won 2 million naira educational grant after beating more than 5,000 other students who participated in the competition.
Foundation's National Essay Competition, which started in 2011, is part of the corporate social responsibilities of the bank to Nigerians. The competition is aimed at providing a competitive platform to develop the intellectual and writing abilities of senior secondary school students across the country. The grant winner, Otokini Jolo Asho, clinched an educational grant of 2 million naira, while the first runner-up won 1.5 million naira. The second runner-up got 1 million naira educational grant, just as 12 finalists smiled home with a laptop each. The school with the highest number of entries was also rewarded with 1 million naira.
I was a bit skeptical, but I knew that with my determination, something will happen.
I want to thank UBA for giving us this opportunity because it's a great one.
The group managing director, UBA, Kennedy Ozoka, and the Chief Executive Officer of the Foundation, Bola Atta, said the bank deemed it necessary to assist intelligent students who may not be able to afford university education with ease.
UBA, as part of the things that we do to give back to the communities that we operate in, is to identify key intervention areas that we specifically single out and put our mind behind it.
It's one of those initiatives that we are very keen on in terms of improving lives. So the end result of writing, reading, and entering a competition on essays is for you to get a bursary to go to university.
The educational grant is given to students who intend to study in African universities. In Lagos, Thomas Ogbetere, NTA News.
This is still NTA Network News. We'll take a break now. The news continues shortly. Stay with us.
Win smartphones and thousands of mobile recharge cards in the Center Fresh and Center Fruits Text and Win promo. Just buy Center Fresh or Center Fruits liquid filled gums. SMS code on the wrapper to 20050 and stand a chance to win every day. Offer from 1st of November to 31st of December. So keep texting, keep winning.
In today's world, it's tough being a woman. But thanks to So Clean, Nigeria's #1 detergent with stain magnet technology, doing washing is a whole lot faster and smarter too. Only So Clean has stain magnet technology with an advanced enzyme formula that pulls out even the toughest trapped dirt, just like powerful magnets. No wonder Nigerians love So Clean. So Clean, for a faster, brighter, cleaner wash.
Your hogs are a comfy place for dropping in, for lazing around, and hanging out. So we've designed our hugs to be just as comfy, with a super-absorbent cord to lock wetness away, and a soft, flexible waistband. Our most comfortable diaper keeps baby comfy at every angle. We'll never stop finding new ways to hug more like you. Huggies, your hugs inspire ours.
Years ago, a scout was looking around Bayelsa. Luckily for me, he came to my school. And that was how my journey of becoming the Nestle Milo Basketball Championship MVP began. Along the path, some people tried to discourage me because I was short. But then I got to realize that it's about your heart, not about your height. Sometimes I get discouraged going for training and all that. Sometimes I trek. And that is what every person that knows where he or she is going has to do, to play along with the challenges and make sure you overcome it. I am grateful for the platform Nestle is giving to young athletes like me. My name is Regina Donano, and this is my journey.
Nestle, good food, good life. Confidence is important in life's little moments. Strong teeth can help, even if they get her into trouble sometimes. A great smile is useful to break the ice. And making friends is easier when you know you have fresh breath. I give my family confidence with Pepsodent's Triple Protection 1-2-3. It's 3 toothpaste in 1 to give them cavity protection, white teeth, and fresh breath. The confidence of 3 toothpaste in 1. Pepsodent's Triple Protection 1-2-3.
Ooh, that's the biggest cube I've ever seen.
Bigger is better.
Discover new Geno Max, 25% bigger for a greater aroma and a richer taste.
Wow, that's big. Bigger is better.
New Geno Max 5 gram seasoning cube. Chicken and spice flavors. Bigger is better.
Wake up, nothing can hold us down. Get up, born to wear the crown.
Breakfast good day, every day.
Nestle, good food, good life.
Fuel for your hustle by Google. It is another morning, not just an ordinary time. Start of a new day. A new beginning. As you prepare everyone for the long day ahead, just anything is not enough. It is only you who makes breakfast special. You make them creamy. You make them tasty. You add vitamins and nutrients we need for a delightful, healthy start to the day.
So start your day right with Hollandia Evap.
Hollandia Evap. Life tastes different. Hollandia.
We are the strongest. No challenge can stop us. Oh,
let Malta goodness fuel your greatness. Let's go.
How hot is she?
Maybe a 7. Mm-hmm. How hot is he?
8.5.
Whoa, how hot is she? Very hot. Pick me. Just pick me, baby. Come pick me, girl. Man, I'm all ready for you.
So tasty.
He's so lucky.
Stop being jealous, man.
Mini-Me. Taste the fun.
Welcome back. For more on the world of business, here is Moplang Dakok with business news.
Hello, Kenneth. Thank you. Following the expiration of his tenure and nomination of a new board, the chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Tunde Fowler, has handed over to the Director of Domestic Taxes Group, Abiodun Aino. The handover took place this evening at the FIRS headquarters. Fowler thanked President Buhari for the privilege to serve the nation. And the presidential initiative on the creation of an enabling environment for business in Nigeria has received a boost, with the country being the 107th World Trade Organization member to ratify the Trade Facilitation Agreement.
one-stop shop where you'll be able to find most of your information.
Capacity needs to be built, not just in customs, but in all border agencies.
There will be reduction of tariff and non-tariff barriers, which will give market access to our products. So it will actually help us in terms of our diversification of the economy and in terms of economic growth and development, because SMEs in Nigeria will be able to access foreign markets through the trade facilitation agreement, through the simplified processes and procedures that are enshrined in the agreements.
On the capital market, transactions on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange opened the week negative as investors lose 84.08 billion naira. The all-share index and market capitalization decreased by 0.65% to close at 26,681.31 basis points as traders exchanged 192.6 million shares valued at 3.5 billion naira. Transaction in the shares of Zenith Bank, USCN and Dangote Cement topped the activity chart in terms of volume of traded shares. Etana led the gainers while Guarantee Trust Bank topped the losers list. That's business news at this time. Kene?
Thanks indeed, Muplank. It was the turn of residents of Plateau and Bauchi states to receive their prizes from the ongoing Glow Recharge and Win Big promo. Felicia Dalio of Samaila reports.
The move by the national telecommunication operator Globacom to empower thousands of Nigerians through winning of life-enhancing items in a unique consumer promotion called Recharge and Win Big, also known as My Own Dome Better, is a golden opportunity for Nigerians to become entrepreneurs.
Glo has started promos, giving out money, giving out cars before, but this particular promo all about entrepreneurship, empowerment.
In Plateau and Bauchi states, 50 subscribers emerged winners of 6 tricycles known as Keke Napep, 10 industrial sewing machines, 14 grinding mills, and 20 generators. Fatai Ganiu, who is suffering from visual impairment, is one of the winners.
My wife, she's selling food. With this grinding machine, I believe if I give her small thing will be entered, and then my drugs and the other thing, it will be easier for me.
I saw that they have already cut my light. The NEPA is even at the up. But one joy that I have is that I'm coming with new generator here.
I have the passion for design, so it's just like a dream.
Thank Glo for this idea, creating, helping entrepreneurs start something.
The National Lottery Regulation Commission was on ground to monitor the exercise as the 8th open draw was conducted to determine winners that will receive prizes in Enugu. Glo ambassadors Sani Denja, Mamaji and Funky Malam encouraged Nigerians to partake in the promo with a Glo recharge of 200 naira daily to stand the chance of winning. The promo will last till the end of the year.
Sakwato is our next stop and Sadia is our guide.
Kene. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission Sokoto Zonal Office has recovered over 228 million naira in the last 11 months. This is coming at the anti-corruption campaign to mark the International Anti-Corruption Day in Sokoto. Muhammad Nasir completes the report.
People often think that corruption is just a way of life, but every society, sector and individual will benefit from standing united against corruption. These were the views of speakers at the sensitization rally on Anti-Corruption Day, aimed at enlightening public on the dangers of corruption practices in the society. EFCC Zonal Office in Sokoto said 151 corruption cases are under investigation out of 236 petitions received by the Commission since February this year. The Commission said it has so far recovered a total of over 200 million naira and $300 for various corrupt cases, as well as over 900 million naira on post-no debit at banks.
We made recoveries outside the Commission. We term it as outside Commission based on the fact that there are recoveries we made in which restitutions were made to victims without passing through the EFCC.
December 9 every year is observed as International Anti-Corruption Day. The theme for this year is United Against Corruption. The global campaign focuses on corruption as it undermines socio-economic development of societies. In Sokoto, Muhammad Nasir, NTA News.
Now, Sokoto State is to enroll over 70,000 out-of-school children back to school under the federal government project tag BESDA. Sheikh Muhammad Detti reports that 12 civil society organizations were employed for effective and prudent management of the program in the state. The report.
Better Education Service Delivery for All is a federal government project focusing on 3 cardinal areas that include reducing out-of-school children, improving literacy, and sustaining enrollment drive. 17 states in Nigeria are to benefit from the project, Sokoto State inclusive. Enumerators are trained on how data of out-of-school children will be collected to serve as determinant of the number of teachers and centers to be involved in managing the program.
To provide computers that we're going to serve as data bank in each of the LGA so that we can able to have details, information of all the activities going on in those LGAs.
We'll be having community dialogue. What went wrong? What is the problem? How do we change our approach? Because you can't continue with the same approach, thinking that the community members will know this or will do this. You have to work with them, and that is why you see us engaging CSOs.
A visit to Rumbukawa area of Sokoto's local government shows that enrollment of the primary target beneficiaries has commenced. 1,429 centers are to be established, where over 800 female pupils and over 500 males are expected to be enrolled, with 50 pupils per center. 9 months is slated for the literacy training, after which pupils will be enrolled into the conventional primary schools of learning. In Sokoto, Sheikh Muhammad Detti, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Sokoto. NTA Network News will continue after this short break.
Today or 4 days when my girls won't come visit me, I need to come go expire.
Oh, my guys, they can't follow me watch this match. I must not fall the hand.
Babe, what's happening now? Sorry to disappoint you, but my subscription don't expire.
The match is not on my GoTV package.
Now your holla be that. I beg, give me your phone.
Make I show you how you go take do it for my GoTV app for your phone.
Life is so much easier with my GoTV app. Make payments, clear error messages, change your package. You can also check your due dates and keep abreast of your payment history.
With the corner, Matip is there.
The new My GoTV app is everything you need in one place. So what are you waiting for? Download My GoTV app now from Google Play or App Store to enjoy the easy life. GoTV. Live it, love it.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, on behalf of the government and people of Nigeria, in conjunction with Ekaite family, regret to announce the death of late Chief Ufot Joseph Ekaite, retired Federal Permanent Secretary, former Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Activities lined up for the funeral are as follows. Commendation service, date Tuesday 10th December 2019. Venue, the Cathedral Church Advent, the Church of Nigeria Anglican Diocese, Life Camp Abuja. Time 7 a.m. Same day, body departs Abuja for Uyo via Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. At 12 noon, body lies in state at the Akwa Ibom Judiciary Auditorium. 2 to 3 p.m., body lies in state at the Governor's Office Banquet Hall for valedictory Executive Council session. 3 to 4 p.m., commendation service at the All Saints, the Anglican Church, Brooks Street, Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. 4 to 5 p.m., body leaves for Ikotedo, Ona Local Government Area, Akwa Ibom State. Friday, 13th December 2019, service of songs at the deceased compound. Time 6 to 10 p.m. Saturday, 14th December 2019, 8 to 9:30 a.m., lying in state at the deceased compound. 10 to 12 a.m., funeral service. Venue, St. Joseph's Anglican Church, Ikotedo, Ona Local Government Area, Akwa Ibom State. Interment at the deceased compound after the funeral service. You are cordially invited. Announcer, Boss Mustafa, Secretary to the Government of the Federation.
Let's take a quick check on the weather prospect for Tuesday. And that's NTA Network News tonight. Many thanks to you for watching. My name is Kenan Imahaburike. Good night.